So I covered the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse soundtrack that if you haven't checked it out, I'll leave it in the description down below and the thumbnails right here. But there was another soundtrack I wanted to cover in this video, and I think now is the perfect time to cover it. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over the Entergalactic soundtrack album from Kid Cudi. And keep in mind, there is going to be spoilers for some scenes I'm going to mention, so keep in mind if you haven't seen the movie, I recommend you see it. But anyways, like, subscribe, follow all socials, and without further ado, let's get it. So with the soundtrack being for the Netflix series Intergalactic that came out in 2022, there's not much to go in depth with it, as if you've seen the movie, you know a lot of the soundtracks are implemented into the movie, and it involves a lot of the love relationship between Jabari and Meadow, and the soundtrack is nothing but vibes. A lot of these tracks usually involve like a love, relationships, or sound, but you get songs such as track number 2 and track number 3, New Mode and Do What I Want, where it has a vibe to it, where you can just kick back, listen, and just kick into it. And with Kid Cudi on it, it makes a lot of sense considering his humming on past albums and priors to the Man on the Moon series, and as well as his lyrics that match well into it. The whole aspect is just a straight up just kicker to get into. And in all honesty, it's a good movie and a good soundtrack. I'm not going to get into the movie as much, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit at the end of the video. But as for the soundtrack, it really gives off each track a representation of what each scene goes with what. Such as the first track, the intergalactic theme being the first track, it gives off sort of a space-like theme, and it feels like more of you getting like a high type intro. And obviously makes sense considering the fact that Jabari's smoking on the top of the building and just chilling. And then you get track number 2, New Mode, which really doesn't really need to be introduced or get into, but it feels more so like a montage scene. And the more you listen to, the more you straight up get into it. Then you get track number 3, Do What I Want, which is one of my favorites off the track, not only because it's a straight up vibe just to listen to regarding the vibes and the beats, but also it can be a good little time to just chill with your boys. And in the movie, it kind of very much is like that, considering Jabari and his homeboys fucking around, pause, and having a good time. A relatable song in a way. And then you get track number 4, Angel, which is a whole different mood, where it's like a romantic relationship mood, as you feel like you're in heavens and you see love at first sight. And it makes sense considering the scene where Jabari meets Meadow for the first time. And this ain't the first time where like relationships, sort of love, romantic songs in this. There's 3 tracks in this: Angels, Ignite the Love, and In Love. Both kind of give the same energy and prior to that. But it makes sense being the purpose of this movie. And one thing about this movie I do enjoy is Cudi's humming, as distinctively, and he's known for obviously with his iconic humming, and it fits with the tracks such as these. But besides that, all 3 tracks are pretty good. Personally, I think In Love is probably my least favorite off of it, but it gives off the same energy and I still mess with it. Then you get track number 7, Willing to Trust. Again, another track off of these where if you know the scene, you know what the scene's related to. And it's a pretty good scene and a pretty good track. And the choir, I mostly mess with, but this one's kind of cool. And with T Dollar Sign as a feature, it's something cool, a little adds to it. But then you get songs such as like track number 8, Can't Believe It, which is probably my least favorite off the track. The B is I, and I feel like to me 2 Chainz is kind of off about this when it comes to this track. But in no means am I hating on 2 Chainz. I just find him weak on the track mostly. But I do have to give him props when props is due. The violins on that track is really good, and it's a nice little touch. And then you get songs like Live My Truth, where Live My Truth has this beat that I really like. Maybe So is okay. And then you have Can't Shake Her, which this one is a really cool one, similar to the last track, Can't Believe It, where it has sort of a nice touch with the guitars at the very near end of the song. Again, a little nice touch to it. And then you get another track where it's based off the scene, which is She's Looking For Me, where it's pretty much around the end of the movie where they see each other again at that like vegan burger place. And this one's a really good one. Again, one of those scenes is like, if you know, you know. Then you get 3 tracks off this song, and it's not mostly like into the song, but it's mostly in the credits or maybe like bonus tracks of it. My Drug, Somewhere to Fly with Don Toliver, and Burrow. And these three are pretty cool. My Drug being a cool little track. The last two with Don Toliver. I think Don Toliver to me actually has a really good feature feeling well into this, as he has the sort of voice to go with it. And I do find him really enjoyable. And overall, I do find this soundtrack album to be pretty good. If you're looking just to chill and vibe with it, this is a soundtrack that is good for you. With the production on this is really good. Cudi on this and the features. This feels to me like sort of like a Man on the Moon type style of sound with the theme of the intro to the beats. I find myself feeling like I'm floating into it. And a lot of these like beats, like I mentioned, Living the Truth being a good beat for me. It has nothing but chill energy if you're really looking forward to it. And it matches so well with songs such as this and the movies such as this. And as for the movie itself, I do find the movie to be pretty good, pretty good. And I like the animation style of it, such as obviously you see the picture being like sort of an animated sort of style. It is like adult, like sort of animated film, but it's a pretty good one at best. I kind of like it. I like the Mr. Rager inclusion with it, as well as the whole graffiti, spray art style, shit like that I fuck with. And it's an overall good movie to me. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this, and I just want to kind of just give my thoughts about this since I saw this and I saw they had a soundtrack to it, listened to it, liked it, and I kind of want to get my thoughts in and out with it. So let me know your thoughts on this. Like, subscribe. I'm out here. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Peace.